Hello, everybody. I'm here with John from Conrad's Crabs. John, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me, John. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So, tell us about you and what you do.
So my name's John Ecker with Conrad's Crabs and Seafood Market. Business partners with Tony and Andrea Conrad, and there's a couple other partners involved with other locations. But yeah, pretty much what we do, we sell seafood, and it's more than just seafood. I mean, for us, it's we have our own crab boat. Tony Conrad is out there actually right now catching crabs. He does that all season long, and in the wintertime he catches fish, local fish that we bring to market. So it's a lot more involved than just saying we sell seafood. We have retail sales, we do catering, we do shipping, we do wholesaling. We buy all our product seafood wise direct, from the source, whether that's in Key West, North Carolina, New York, Boston, etc. We don't buy from other wholesalers. We buy from a more direct source, whether it's the fishermen themselves or the next direct source. So, and then we distribute that across all our locations. So it's a lot of moving parts every day. It's a challenge, a lot of communication, but hey, it works. I've been here for 15 years in 4 locations. Maybe it's 5. I don't know anymore, but it's a lot of moving parts, and the whole goal is to bring the freshest seafood to the public, and our mainstay is crabs, steamed crabs. So we've won Baltimore's best crabs through various outlets for the last 9 years in a row. So that's our mainstay, the steamed crab. So
right. Now, your crabs are local, right?
Yes, right now they're still all local. The season ends in about really 4 weeks locally. But right now, 100%, 95 to 100% of our crabs are all Maryland crabs.
That's
we
great.
Buy from, like I said, Tony Conrad, and we buy from, we can't just do it with our one boat. We buy from, good Lord, I don't even know anymore, 20, 25 crabbers. At this point, we pick a lot of the guys' crabs up every day. We buy everything, bring it back to our markets to sell. So
that's great. So that was my next question I was going to ask. So you're at the Bel Air location, right?
Right now, I'm at the Bel Air location at the moment. I run back and forth between the Parkville market and the Bel Air market. Parkville market's main quote unquote headquarters, or whatever you want to call it, for all the moving parts. But, but yeah, I'm between both the Parkville and Bel Air.
Gotcha.
Both a lot of moving parts. Bel Air's an up and coming project. We looking to grow, and repeat what we've done down at Parkville, and it's certainly possible.
Awesome. That's great. So why did you decide to be a business owner? What gave you that fire?
Me specifically, I've just been here a long time, for 15, 16 years, with Tony and Andrea, pretty much 1 year after the beginning. I've been here since 2008, and, have seen from 20 employees to, I think we're at 265 between all 4 locations. So, to see that growth, to see the processes and the struggles and, everything in between. It's rare to be able to do that, especially at, my age. Personally, I just, enjoy it. I work 7 days a week. I enjoy it. Not a lot of people could say that, but that's me. But as far as Tony and Andrea's motivation to do all this, Tony, he was a waterman, prior to having Conrad's, the market, the Parkville market. He would go out, catch crabs on the weekends, towards the end of the week, and sell them to other crab houses or restaurants, etc. And at some point, Tony and Andrea got the opportunity to open up their own market and, bring the crabs to the public and the fish to the public. So that was the whole motivation 15, 16, I don't know how many years it's been, 15, 16 years ago. That was the whole motivation, and it's flourished into quite the end, quite the business enterprise. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, what are some of the challenges that you face right now?
Some of the challenges, oh man, um, you know, everybody talks about it, pricing. Um, it's becoming lesser of a concern, with every passing month. Things are starting to correct themselves a little bit, back in the lower direction as far as prices. But for a very long while, darn near 2 years plus, I mean, the pricing on everything just got way out of control. And that's with everything, you've seen in this economy. It's gotten out of control with, things as simple as paper bags that we use. I mean, they're
Right.
300% higher than they used to be. I know that sounds real dumb, but it adds up. And then you take that, culminate that with paper bags, plastic bags, everything we use on the boat, from the little the crab pots. I mean, everything's
Hmm.
gotten exponentially more expensive over the last 2 years. So
Yeah, and
that,
that's interesting you mentioned that because people don't realize, especially in my industry, when we're looking for, you know, everything that we look for, it's interesting that people don't realize wasting paper costs the company a lot of money over the months.
yeah, I mean, and it might sound stupid, but it's not. It's and take that with anything. Plastic containers. We had to go from foam to plastic containers. I mean, those things are.
Yeah,
I mean, ridiculously high. They're like 500% more than the other containers we used to, we used to use. So, uh,
right,
one small example, from paper goods to the physical fish that we're buying. I mean, you have fuel prices on the boats, diesel fuel on shrimp boats, fish boats that are, through the roof, and all that gets passed down, one way or another. So
right.
that's been the biggest struggle, and probably for most of the businesses out there, that's the biggest struggle. I know people talk about labor issues. I would say we have lesser of an issue with that. I mean, we have a solid team, and we do a really good job of keeping people around. My main motivation in doing all this, obviously, you want to make money and everything, but selling seafood is important. It's fun. You don't wake up every day and say, "Hey, I love selling seafood." Then you're in the wrong place. But doing that's fun. But also providing an environment or creating an environment where the employees have a space to grow personally, within the company, um, and also learning skills. We've done a very, very good job of that, even prior to COVID. Um, and our staff and employees do a heck of a job.
Yeah,
Everybody always says that. How do how do you get such good employees? I mean, it's really about treating them well and creating an environment for them to grow. That's really, really the two keys right there. Um, so yeah, we don't have a problem with that, but
right, right.
honestly, the pricing, that was a struggle. The pricing of things. I mean, we didn't want to charge what we you know had to charge for some of these products, but ooh, um, it was necessary. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. That's what on my side, that's what I see a lot of. We're helping other restaurants with, the employee engagement part. So it sounds like you got that under control. That's great because that's what we hear a lot of in a lot of my interviews. That seems to be a bigger problem is, getting people to show up and work and how to keep them. And
right,
that's what we work on, is let's people and get them to like their job and incentivize them to really do it.
right, and
Yeah.
it's not unfortunately, there's through the power of TikTok and Instagram and everything else you see out there, people think, and this is long before that too, but people think you just open a business and the money starts flowing. It doesn't work that way. It never has worked that way. It never will work that way. Um, you
That
know,
is so true.
so being engaged with the team, the staff, on a daily basis is important to foster that type of environment to where
Yeah,
people want to show up to work. I mean,
definitely.
don't
Yeah,
want to say
definitely
Chick-fil-A
critical.
is a
Yeah.
great example, but Chick-fil-A is one of those good examples. And
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Chick-fil-A because the last few times I've made a visit, it seems like they may have changed their business model a little bit because it's not as good as I thought they were prior to
right,
this great resignation, and this great quiet quitting that we're going through right now.
right. I
I
mean,
was shocked.
it could
Yeah.
it could be because you know, I mean, I didn't even know what Chick-fil-A was 10 years ago. There was probably, I think, one in the White Marsh Mall, maybe. I don't remember. I remember a kid. There was always a place that was busy in the
Yeah,
mall.
right.
Shit. But now you got one on every daggone block. I mean, it's
Right.
um, it's incredible. So I mean, some of it's probably growth related, and that you don't want to grow too fast and lose that touch that you've had for many years. But hey, that's
Right. Right.
that's how some businesses work.
Right, exactly. So that's my next question I was going to ask is, how has the pandemic changed your guys' business model, if at all?
Honestly, for the market side and even the restaurants, social media, um, we were always the best at. We were probably one of the forerunners. I mean, not to gloat about it, but we were probably one of the front runners on doing social media, Facebook and Instagram prior to COVID even happening. Uh,
Hmm.
so when COVID did happen, those social media pages and engagement and all that fun stuff that we already had in place that we were already using exploded to a whole nother level. Uh, it's hard to describe what happened during 2020. It was insane. You know, on the market side, um, we were very fortunate and blessed every single day. We got destroyed every single day, busy as anything every single day for, I mean, 8 months. Um, you know, I mean, all those things that we had in place prior were already working. They pushed us to a different dimension. While other places were shutting down, maybe
Yeah.
not making it. Um, and honestly, I think that it 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 made us see what's possible, past what we thought was possible. If that makes sense. Uh,
Yeah, that's one of the things that I want to mention. Kudos to you guys because, as I'm going through, scheduling interviews, I'm looking at all these past, prospects I had are just out of business.
right,
And it saddens my heart because the restaurant industry is near and dear to my heart. I love the restaurant industry,
right,
and I do everything I can to help and promote and you know try to really do what I can. And it's sad to see all those restaurants that closed. And there's a few that are coming back and opening up, and there's some new ones coming around. But you guys hung in there, man. And that's awesome.
right. It was a little bit of a challenge for our restaurants. The restaurants we had, like I said, we had online ordering already in place for 4 years prior to COVID, 3 years prior to COVID for all the locations. So I mean, you know, the restaurants obviously you couldn't have people inside, but essentially what we did, we all sat in a meeting for one day, determined what was going on, what we were going to do, closed for one day, pivoted, and ran carry out, through just like we do for the market. So, um, you know, one of the best things I think, that came out of all this was, or honestly, for the restaurant side, you know, looking more intently at the numbers, even today, looking
Mhm.
more intently at the numbers and food costs and things like that. And really putting the pencil down and um, you know getting more detailed with things, the numbers.
Yeah.
So that those are the good things that came out of it. More reporting and tracking and things like that. A lot of businesses, just like I said, they open, they go with the flow. Maybe they operate just for the sake of weekends and holidays. It doesn't work that way. It's got to be a 52 week a year business,
Uh-huh.
7 days a week. So,
Yeah.
you got to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and and keep pushing forward with it. But
Right.
overall, COVID um, was a good measure for us of what we're capable of. Um, and
Yeah.
for the good.
Yep.
It's been incredible since COVID. We've had meetings, we've done different things, we've created a loyalty program, for our customers that we didn't have before.
Uh-huh.
We're just taking steps furthering our social media, furthering our online ordering, things like that. So it's been eye opening, would be the word
Yeah.
for it. COVID was eye opening. You would go home every day, you know, you would work. I mean, I don't. I feel like I worked every day during COVID for 8 months, but you go home every day, 14, 15, 16 hours a day, and be, man, did that just happen? And you do it
Right.
every day, and you just like you're dumbfounded. Um, I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, like
Right.
I said, some people won out of it, some people lost, and luckily on our end, through the processes, measures, social media, all the things that we do, we came out on top of that. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think a good point you made there is, you know, if you really listen to what you say, you cared about your restaurants and your employees,
right,
and you did what you had to do
right,
to sustain through COVID, like so many other businesses did. But the ones who didn't take it serious, they didn't make it.
right. I mean, some
You know.
people didn't even try. I was, I mean, some surprising places. I'm not naming names, but you would drive by or see their social media, and it's like, wow, they're closed. What are they doing? Like,
Yeah.
kidding me? I mean, and it's no secret. I mean, part of this inflation, there was a lot of money out there in the system. Just being into people's pockets, checking accounts, whatever, to keep the economy flowing, and people were spending it, and um, to see that with some businesses was quite surprising. But yeah, I mean, you definitely had the care, and you definitely had to go with the right attitude on it.
Yeah,
And
I think that's key. They just their heart just wasn't in it,
right,
and that's okay. Maybe they're moving on to something else bigger and better
right,
for them.
right. Yeah, I
That's
mean the
okay.
restaurants. I mean, we employed a lot of people at the restaurants. Obviously we couldn't employ the entire staff, the way we had done in the past. But I mean, in the markets, I mean, we needed help. I mean, we were helping um, 1,300, 1,200 people a day at our Parkville market.
Wow, that's a
With
lot.
absolute insanity, and it was 7 days a week. It wasn't just weekends. It was we had a line out the door at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Sunday, every single day. And we employed close to 10 to 14 of the restaurant employees down at Parkville, whether it was making bags or making butters or something.
Right,
We had a task for everybody. It was insanity. So
right. Now, was Parkville the only location that you kept open through COVID, or did you have them all
no,
open?
all four were open.
Ah,
So
great.
Parkville is the original location. Been open for 15 years, since 2007. So I guess going on 16. Um, 15 years. We have the Bel Air Market, which is a bigger version of Parkville up here in Hartford County. And then we have two restaurants, Perry Hall and Abingdon, one in Baltimore County, one in Hartford County. So
Right.
kept them all open. Like I said, the restaurants went to carry out style. We created a carry out menu, did carry out crabs, had the online ordering, just like the markets, you know, just closed and reset. So
Right.
that's how that worked. And then, as far as the markets go, it got out of control. It got out of control.
It went out of hand.
There were days, and like I said, from being there for such a long time, 15 years, seeing how we used to be, you know, as a company and business wise, it was a sight to see. I mean, there was a day, and Tony would remember this. There was a day, I think it was April 26th. I can't remember the exact day. It was a Saturday, and I just lost all control of what was going on. I mean, the line of people, there were 400, 300 people in line, went down the
Mhm,
street. If anybody's familiar with the Parkville Market, it went down to where the old Casey's used to be.
mhm.
People line. I mean, it was out of control. I had the cops out there, trying to direct traffic, and I just called Tony. I said, Tony, I need your help. I need to go in and get this done. I need you to come down here and just stand here and just be a presence, and then also see this.
Yeah,
Something to remember in the back of your head is something to remember. So
man, that's great.
you'll
Yeah,
again, like that. But I mean, it was definitely something to remember.
right. Yeah, I got a picture of Box Hill Pizza where they have a line going in both directions across the parking lot.
Right.
And everybody's out there with masks on and gloves. And I'm like, man, look at this. This is crazy.
Uh-huh.
This is something we've never seen before, and
Uh-huh.
it's
And,
amazing.
and you woke up every day and it's like, how long can this last? You're 2 weeks into it, seeing it, and you're like, okay, it'll be over next week. Nope. It just got bigger and
And bigger.
bigger and bigger.
I know.
There was no end to it.
Yep.
For darn near 7 months, it was every single day, 7 days a week, just lines up to the top of that parking lot, and
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, that's great because you're one of the good success stories that come out of that because, a lot of times, we hear those stories of, they struggled and,
Right.
the money wasn't there, but I'm glad you guys made it. And, I can't wait to visit all your locations and try all your food. I've
Sure.
I've been to the Perry Hall location several years ago and had a good experience. I had crabs and shrimp.
Good.
It was good. It was good. But I can't wait to hit all your locations now
Come
and
up one day and I'll show you around.
there you go. Now you're at which location are you at? What's the address?
I'm at 1207 Baltimore Pike, Bel Air, Maryland. So
Okay.
right across from what is this called? Bob Bell Chevy over here, and it's technically Bel Air. It's kind of the Falston area, but it's a huge market. We got everything. So
Gotcha. All right. I'll have to come in and check you guys out down there and see how your location is.
there you go.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
That's it. I think we covered
Awesome.
the bases. Steam crab.
Yeah.
Come get your steamed crabs.
How
The
about the
season's
crab
not
cakes?
over yet.
I need a crab cake, man. I need a crab cake. It's been a
We
while.
have the crab cakes too. All Maryland crab meat. We're one of the very. I forgot to mention that we're one of the very few. They started this program back in 2012, and it's called the Maryland True Blue program, and it's a state. Um, it's regulated by I think it's Department of Agriculture now. I don't remember, but uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, they certify that we use 100% Maryland crab meat in our crab cakes, and
Hmm.
everybody has a crab cake, but what's Maryland and what's not? so,
Right.
so
That's
we're one of
awesome.
the very few here in Hartford and Baltimore County that actually use Maryland crab meat. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, got crab cakes. We got Baltimore or Maryland steamed crabs all the way up until December 1st, and then it'll transition into some Louisiana crab. But we still have the crabs. Come and get them.
That's great. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. Well, John, I appreciate your time. Thanks for taking your time out of your busy day to speak with you. I know you're busy over there. I can hear it in the background.
All good. Oh, great.
Appreciate you. Enjoy your day, man, and I'll look forward to meeting you soon.
All right. I appreciate
All
it,
right.
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Take care, John.